everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Now, it's Tuesday night, and every Tuesday night I jump on and share a sketch challenge with you. So I have a fun sketch to share with you tonight, and I am using the new Splendid Thoughts bundle. It's part of the Splendid Day, I have to say that, Splendid Day suite from the upcoming mini catalog. We, as demonstrators, got to participate in a crafting event on Saturday with Stampin' Up! Using this suite. It was called Creativity Now. It was so much fun, actually, to get together with everyone and make some beautiful projects. And so I thought I would share a project using this suite. It's just so pretty. Hey, Catherine. Hello. I'm not sure who said hello to start. Don't forget to go to streamyard.com/Facebook and give permission so I can actually see who's commenting. But welcome. I'm glad you guys are here tonight. All right, the sketch for this will go live at about 7:30 on Facebook, on both the page and group, as well as Instagram. So you can grab the sketch after at about 7:30 Pacific tonight and play along with it. All right, I'm going to switch over and we will get started. All right, so this is the sketch. And so it is a card base of 5.5 by 8.5 or 4.25 by 11. And then your first layer is kind of your standard first layer, 4 inches by 5.25. I've got another layer in here that's the darker orange that is 3.25 by 4.5. And then you need 4 pieces. They could be any shape. I've got them at about 1 inch by 2.5. You want about that size, but it doesn't have to be the rectangle that I have got here. But you want 4 pieces. They can be all the same. They can be different. They can be a combination of designer series paper and cardstock. You could do all sorts of things. You could do some embossing on it, for example. And then your sentiment, I've said about 3/4 inch by 3 inches. And again, depending on what size of sentiment you want to use, you can switch that up and just make your piece fit your sentiment. All right, so that's the sketch. Let me show you these. So this is the Splendid Day. I'm just going to take this off because I have glare from the light. Nancy. So this is the Splendid Day stamp set, and there is a set of dies that go with this, and there is designer series paper. Now I don't have all the designer series paper, but I did bring, so and you're not able to see this there. It's foil. It is stunning. It is in soft sea foam and kind of a rose gold, and then fresh freesia, and then one that is quite silvery. And then on the other side is it's not the foil. It's just kind of designer series paper with a pattern on it. There is Calypso Coral. It's just so pretty. I am using the foil just because I love this foil. All right, and then the great set of dies that you can cut all sorts of pieces out, including this really fun label die. And in the stamp set, of course, there is the bee. And so there is a die that you can, cut out the bee. I love these kind of labels that you can cut out all sorts of extra pieces. You can cut out the stamped images as well. And let's see, there is these great open leaf trinkets that coordinate beautifully. You can see those. Hey, Monica, welcome. And then this amazing seam binding in soft sea foam. It is just so pretty and so beautiful to tie bows with. It's kind of got a, it's not real hard, but it's not as, I was going to use the word flimsy. That's probably not a good word. It's a little stiffer than some of the seam binding, like the crinkled seam binding that we have, but it's just so pretty in this soft sea foam. Oops. And of course I can't tie a bow. There we go. So yeah, ties really pretty bows. All right, so let's take these dies. Now I am using I'm using a soft seafoam card base. So this is 4 1/4 by 11. And I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. And as always, I'm going to grab my bone folder. This is the side I scored on, so fold into the raised line of the mountain. Get a much better fold. And just give it a really good burnish with your bone folder. Now, I am using this. I love this color combination. It's not one I would have necessarily thought about, but this suite has made me think about it. So I'm using fresh freesia and the soft seafoam. We're going to do some stamping on this to start with. So I am going to use this stamp, and we're just going to kind of stamp around the edge just to give it a bit of a border. And I'm going to stamp it in fresh freesia. So just ink up, and I'm just going to, not all of this is going to show, so I'm just kind of gonna random, somewhat random, so that I get enough of a border that will show when my basic white goes on. So here's my basic white piece. So I got enough of the border. I think I'm going to do some filling in, maybe with the bee. There's this little tiny bee image. So I think I'm just going to kind of go and fill in some of the openings with this bee, just so that it's got a little bit more. That's probably not going to show that one, so we'll put one down there. There, that's, oops, one in the corner. Just to fill in some of the gaps. All right, and then this piece, that's a little bit better. Okay, so this is going to go on like that, and then this is going to go on like that. And now we're going to take and just, there's my sketch. Let's bring this back. Hey, Mary, welcome. Well, it's nice to see everybody here. Okay, what is my 3 pieces? All right, so here's my sketch. And really what I want to do is these pieces are just going to go on however you want to put them on. So if actually I should have put that on here. So just lay this on like that. If you wanted to, you could do some stamping, and I might do some stamping in behind. But basically this is just going to layer on like that, and then we'll put the sentiment. And I think I'm going to put some a die cut that I've got here, and probably a trinket. But I do think I need to do some stamping. And so I'm going to quickly grab the soft seafoam ink. Wasn't thinking I was going to do some stamping on the basic white, but it's feeling like it's just a little bit too plain. So maybe this is going to be too busy, but I'm going to do some stamping in soft seafoam using this. I believe this is a eucalyptus leaf. At least that's what I thought I heard them say on Saturday. And I'm going to stamp off because I just want a really kind of faint image in behind. There we go. Just something in behind my pieces. Okay, I'm going to adhere this on because I'm sure these are going to overlap a little bit onto the fresh freesia, because they're longer than, well, you know, I did this the other day where I had a clog. See if I can, nope, I'm going to have to grab another one. I left the cap open on my that liquid glue a few days ago, and it just seems to be keep getting a clog. So we'll just put this one. Use that one. So this will just adhere on here. You could use whatever your favorite adhesive is. So that's on there. And I'm not going to, that doesn't look straight to me. Let's try and get that a little straighter. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now I am going to kind of lay these on somewhat randomly, just, you know, however you want them to go on. And I'm going to lay these on and adhere them flat. I'm not going to pop them up. I will pop up my dimensional perhaps. But you can put these on. If you want them straight, you can put them on straight. If you want them crooked like I'm doing, you can absolutely do that. You can overlap them. Ah. Now I've got glue all over. Okay, let's get that sketch out of the way so I don't get glue all over my card base too. Hello. You're not late at all. All right. And we're just going to put that one like that. Apparently, now I haven't looked at all of the patterns on this foil, but apparently there are ladybugs on some of the pattern, the foil pieces. So if you're looking at it, you can check out the ladybugs. Now I am going to take and wrap my ribbon around, and I'm going to leave myself hopefully enough to be able to tie a bow. Can she do it? Now, I've said this before, I always turn my image upside down, my piece. So this, oops, this is the way, the right way. So when I tie this, I always turn it upside down. Now, one trick, she says, so she could find it. Now, I'm not going to use this, but I don't know if you've got the mini catalog. This is the new embossing kit, and it comes with this tray for embossing powder, the embossing buddies back, which is amazing, a brush, and these amazing tweezers. Now, these are heavy-duty tweezers. You kind of have to really press hard. So these are great for holding down this ribbon, and it's kind of like I've always used a glue dot, but look at this. Take these tweezers and just put them right there in the middle, and now they will hold your ribbon in place so that you can tie that bow. It's like an extra finger that we used to get when we were kids and tying. So then you can just take them out and pull this tight. I have always used a glue dot, but these tweezers work amazing. And I find that by turning my image or putting my piece upside down, I get the tails going in the right direction. I've said that before. I just found that I don't get tails going in the right direction if I don't do that. I seem to be able to control them a little bit better. There we go. So I've got my bow. Now I can adhere this on. Sometimes I will use Stampin' Seal if I've got ribbon on the back of mine, but because this was tied all around, I'm not worried about it coming loose. If it had been just wrapped around the back, I would have probably used Stampin' Seal to hold it in place. Now, okay, here's so I've got this die cut. That's not going to show up very well. So I had that one cut out. So let's do some die cutting. Let's see. I also have to do a sentiment. Yeah, those tweezers are going to be definitely a favorite. All right, so I'm going to cut that out. And I think I will cut out one of these curly cues. So let me just bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm probably going to have to cut this paper a little bit smaller, but we can do that. Okay, this one I don't. This one will go on just perfectly. So we will run that through first. If you ever have a hard time getting your plates to run through, stagger them so that they're not perfectly aligned, and you will find that they go through much easier. Okay, so that's that. Put that off. Now I'm going to have to trim this paper because it's too big to go through. So I'm just going to take a little piece off that one side. And now I can put that through. So yeah, so rather than have this perfectly lined up, have one edge longer than the other, and you will find that you won't have to fuss with it quite so much. Right. There we go. And that off. There we go. Okay, so I've got that. Let's put that die back before I lose that. I tend to lose dies. I'm still looking for a tag die from the Tea Boutique or the teacup dies. Not sure where it is. I'm sure I'll find it eventually. You drop on the floor and then they seem to go a long ways when they drop. All right, so got this. I've got that just to give it some color. And I am going to stamp my sentiment. Hello. I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which I think I'm going to use the one that says, "Let's celebrate." So again, you can cut your sentiment piece however, whatever fits your sentiment. So I'm going to stamp this in Fresh Freesia, on Fresh Freesia, so tone on tone. And then I'm going to fussy cut, because if you know me, you know that I like to fussy cut my sentiments. So I'm just going to take it, and as you're cutting, guide your, so you want to move the paper as opposed to the scissors. So it will just make fussy cutting so much easier for you if you kind of use your hand that's controlling the paper to steer, as opposed to, so I'm just kind of moving the paper around with my left hand. There we go. All right. So I've got these. So I'm going to put those on like that. And I'm going to put this like that. And I want one of these. I love these trinkets. So we will put that on. So I'm just going to take a glue dot, because I'm not going to adhere this all the way down, but I'm just going to use a glue dot. So when I've got a bunch of die cuts, I tend to take and put them all on to the glue dot so that I kind of keep them, I keep track of them. That way I'm not kind of losing where they've gone to. So we'll put that on like that, this on like that, and this, oops, like that, just to give it some texture and dimension. And then we will use, I will use, not sure why I'm saying we, I will use some dimensionals to pop up the sentiment. And we're just going to pop that right over top. Oops, I think I need to double dimensional this because it's quite thick with that trinket. So when you double dimensional, just take a second dimensional. You need to take the backing off the first one, take the second dimensional and just put it on top. And I'm going to try and get that in the middle of, actually, let's try and take that off. I'm going to try and get this trinket, let's try and not ruin the card, in between so that it's kind of held in place. There we go. So that it's got the, there we go. All right. And I realized I wonder if that's big enough. I don't know that I've got a piece of, oh, I do. Nope, I don't. I forgot to grab a piece of basic white. So I will have to put the inside of the card in after the fact. And I probably, yeah, thinking it needs some more embellishments, but I think it's got enough glitter with all that shine. I love that color combination. So bring this sketch back in. Now my sentiment, I kind of moved it over, but I've got the bow, so it kind of follows the sketch. But you know, you can use the sketch and play around with it. Just fussing with that bow a little bit. You can always put a glue dot underneath to hold that in place if you want to. But if you haven't seen this Splendid Day suite in the mini catalog, the upcoming one, you can start ordering from the mini catalog as of July 1st. And it's just so pretty. It's not really, it's almost spring-like. It's kind of fun to play with because it's not really holiday. So it's kind of nice that you can use this for any. It's not fall. It's not Christmas. It's not Halloween. It's actually a really nice suite that you can use at any time of the year. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. As I said, the sketch with the measurements will go live on my Facebook group page and on Instagram in just over half an hour's time, so you can play along. Don't forget to share your cards on my Facebook group if you're part of that group. If you're not part of the group, you're welcome to join. Just the link is underneath this video, and you will be able to go out there and I will just approve you. You just have to request access in. And at the end of every month, if you share your amazing projects, I do a draw and may send you some happy mail. So I'd love to see what you create with this sketch. I will be back on Tuesday night with a mystery challenge this week. Every other Thursday night, I come on with a mystery challenge. And this week, I'm doing a picture challenge. So they're sometimes hard, but we'll walk through it. The picture will post around 9 or 10 on Thursday morning Pacific. So if you kind of think about what you might like, you can use pictures to be inspirations. It could be the color, it could be the layout, it could be the subject. Pictures are great so that you can use them in all sorts of ways, and we'll talk through that on Thursday night. So join me Thursday night at 6:30 Pacific for a mystery challenge with a picture. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining. Happy stamping. Bye.